Okay, hello guys. Today I'm going to attempt a transmission, drain, and fill for my 2022 Toyota Tacoma. In my mind, it's like an advanced oil change. So I bought some parts that I'll go through, and I'll go through the tools. I'll try not to make it too long of a preamble. So first of all, the tools I'm going to need our 15/16 socket, which I have here for the fill plug on the trans. The drain plug is 14 millimeter, which I have here, and the check plug is a hex, so that'll go on the 1/2-inch drive. That's 5 millimeter, 10 millimeter, 10 millimeters on the drain pan and for the filter. So I have that here. I also wrote down the torque specs here, and for that I have 2 different torque wrenches, which I'm excited to use. Some of the torque specs are very low, like below 7 pounds or below 10 pounds, which is as low as this one goes in foot-pounds. Yes, the lowest this one goes is 8 pounds, I suppose. No, the lowest it goes is 10 pounds. Anyway, so you need to convert to inch pounds, which I've done. 65 inch pounds and 84 inch pounds, which are like, let's say 5 and 7, I believe, in pounds, foot pounds that is. I have a set of new crush washers, which I'll use on the fill and drain. And the other thing I have is a temperature gun here, which will be used to figure out when the transmission has been brought up to operating temperature, which I understand is between 95 and 115 degrees. There's a couple different ways to do that. This seems like the most straightforward. Just shoot this right up at the pan. And then for the actual fluid, here's what I'm working with. ATF World Standard by Ravenol, made in Germany. And then I have a pump, of course, to pump it into the trans, hand pump. I have a new filter. Go ahead and open this up. Here's my new gasket, bushings for the gasket, and a new trans pan filter. So that'll be going in. Great, so I think that covers it there. Let me show you. So I have a very small garage, just barely fits the truck. I'm up on wedges, or what do we call these, rams, something, rhino ramps, and then in the back I'm up on jack stands, which I'll show you. Yep, there you have it, just on the axle. One thing I will say is, don't waste your money on these 2¼ ton Chinese. I guess everything's made in China, but this thing could just barely lift the truck. So next purchase is a better floor jack. This I bought just because, like I said, the my garage is small and storage space is tight. So this has worked when I had a passenger car, but for the truck I'm going to need a bigger floor jack and probably a bigger garage now that I think about it. Anyways, I will sign back on once I'm under the truck, and the first step is going to be to remove the fill plug, and that's to avoid a situation where you've drained the oil and your fill plug is seized, and now you can't fill up your transmission and you can't use your vehicle, so that would be a problem. All right, bye-bye. All right, I'm under the truck. Here's my transmission pan. Here is the fill plug up here. I cracked that loose. What I found out is, so this is a 2-wheel drive truck, rear wheel drive, and I think on the 4-wheel drive the fill is actually tucked up underneath this bracket with this wire here, and I think that's because you're going to have a transfer case behind this, bolted up here, as opposed to here you just have a shaft. I don't know exactly what's in here, but it's a different component. So here's your fill. It's still the same 24 millimeter at 15/16. Here's the straw, they call it, or forget what the actual name is, and then here is the drain plug, 14 millimeter, 5 millimeter hex. So I did crack this open and a little bit came out. I forgot to mention before, you want to have the truck level, and my truck isn't completely level, so there is some fluid already draining out of this, but it's important to have a level truck. So when I go to check all this again, I'm gonna have to take the truck off the ramps and off the jack stands, so I know that it's sitting level, because that's important to get the fluid level correct. So let me drain what's in there now. So you want to have a bucket with measurements on the side so you know how much comes out. That's always important. And let me drain this now. Okay, there we go. All right. only got a little bit on my arm there. So we'll wait for that to drain. We are expecting, I'm going to say between 3 and 4 quarts to come out just from draining it. I believe the torque converter will also be draining a little bit since we're leaned back. That'll allow some of the fluid that's in the torque converter to drain into the pan and into the bucket. So we're off to a good start. And the reason I'm doing this, so I bought this truck used with 40-ish thousand miles on it. I believe this is a recommended fluid change, preventative maintenance every 40 to 60,000. And it really depends on what type of driving you're doing. So I don't know what the previous owner of my truck was doing with the truck. If he was towing or putting it under a lot of strain, you'd want to do that more frequently. But the goal for this truck is to have it last as long as possible. So I'm going to get new fluid in it. So it looks like we're already starting to slow down. Why don't I open the, I lost my light. Why don't I open the fill a little bit? That should help it drain. Put that back in. This in gently. Okay. Now I can go around to these 10 millimeters and start loosening up the pan. So I'll do that now. And we didn't get a ton out of there, that's for sure. Alright. Oh, my 10 millimeter wrench is up on the workbench, so let me go get that. Okay, I'm going around cracking these loose. I started with the 4 corners. Now I'm working my way around. One thing I've always sort of wondered about this truck, if there's a skid plate to protect this pan, because it is just kind of exposed at the bottom of the truck here. I'm sure they make that for the off-road models. Get some light over there, try my best to do. There we go. Alright, let's see if that gives us more fluid at the pan. Or it might.
Oh. Yep, I knew I'd spill some, but wow, there's a lot left in the pan even after the drain stopped flowing. Here's my gasket, and there's my filter. So the problem with missing the pan there, guys, is now I need to estimate how much just fell on the floor, which I'm not very good at. Another thing I'll need to do is compare the old gasket to the new gasket and ensure it's exactly the same. Let's keep that in the pan for now. And then there's also magnets in the pan that I'll be looking at and cleaning. So that's pretty good. That's the inside of the transmission, which I'm always fascinated about. Yeah, so there's constantly fluid circulating in here. Here's my strainer. I was calling it a filter, and the parts guy corrected me. Why don't I get that while I'm down here also? More 10 millimeters, 3 of them. Cool, that's exciting. Nerve-wracking and exciting. Okay, there we go. Perfect. We're good for now, anyway, we'll say. Add that to the filter. All right, let me clean up a little bit, and then we'll look at the pan.
Okay, so what I want to do, and what's an important step, is make sure your new parts are exactly the same as your old parts. So up top, this is the old gasket. Everything looks good. It's interesting. I see a little bit of rust starting to form. Obviously, it wasn't leaking, but that tells me this has never been done before on this vehicle. You know, the pan dropped. The Toyota folks, parts folks, and service department says they never do this. They just will drain from the plug there. So here's the pan, and what's interesting about the pan is that you have these magnets, and their job is to collect any sort of small debris. For me, it's like you can't even detect that it's metal. It's more like kind of sludge that's metallic, but I do see some flecks in there. And the fluid itself is a dark red, which I think is normal, but be curious the color of the new fluid. I think it's going to be a lighter red. So I'm going to clean all this out. Oh, and then the filter looks exactly the same. So here we go. This was, you know, connected up there. No gasket on that. That's important to note, but yep, looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I have the right parts. That's important. Okay, I'm going to clean this up now. Clean the pan up, that is, with some shop towels. Clean the magnets as well. This is kind of the fun part, if you will. I'm like in between glove sizes. I guess these are mediums. I might have small hands. It's hard to grab stuff, but you want the gloves on because this stuff is nasty. 2 magnets. Let me keep those separated so they don't stick to each other like that. It'd be hard to get them apart. And they have little ridges where the magnets go, so I'll just make sure I get those back in the right spot. Excuse me. Oops. All right. So I have about 3.5 liters came out of there. Oh, so this is liters. All right, cool. These aren't quarts anyway. It's 1 liter. So 3.5 of these I will add back in. Well, you know what? I probably lost, I don't know. Do we call it a 1/2 liter? So maybe I'll need 4. Yeah, we'll go with that. So let me finish cleaning and put the gasket on the pan and get ready to put the magnets back in. I'll do that now, actually. Num num num. It's looking pretty good, but I'll go over the top of that with a rag and clean my hands. Okay. All right, we're ready to go back onto the truck. Let me make sure I'm set up. Okay, back onto the truck. Let's put this back in, the new one. Good. Take off my fill plug. Set that aside. Oh, there goes my light. Stick that in there. Like so. Come on, light. Okay, ready for my first bottle. Oh man. That's on there tight, come on now. You gotta be kidding me here. God, what am I, the weakest guy in the world here? What am I missing? This is what I'm missing. What the fuck? These Germans, man. Alright, gotta read the directions on how to open the quart bottle. Alright, so I was able to get the cap off one of these, but of course my pump doesn't fit. Noted, but we're gonna go in anyway. Okay, and I'll just have to keep filling this bottle. There we go. Cherry red. What a mess, huh? So, truck started, that was good. Went into gear, went into reverse, went into park, so that's good. I don't see any crazy leaks. So let's clean up and then bring it up to operating temperature and drain it. Not drain it all the way, drain the overflow. Keep saying that. Let's clean up here. This one is left empty. That's trash. Let's empty this in there. Might put gloves on. Put that in there for now. That's my carb cleaner crap. There we go. Clean my tools. Start the truck, cycle through the gears, and bring us up to 95. I might actually just look for 90 on the pan, because I think once the heat transfers to the pan, I've heated up enough. There's another way to do this that seems complicated, to check the temperature, but I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way, and hopefully I can fit under the truck. I'm sure I can. Okay. park, reverse, neutral, drive, neutral, drive, neutral, reverse, park. Alright, let me get onto the truck now with it running. Check the temperature, check the leaks. I need this. Well, whatever. Could take a while. Oh, you know what? Alright, the GoPro ran out of battery, but I went back under there and opened up the overflow, and here's what came out. Which tells me we're just a little overfill, which is over full, which is what you want. So now I'm going to drive the truck around, and but job well done. Thank you.